These things.
For a 6 of talls, that's a smoking deal.
See, that's the genius of this beer.
It's like the Arizona tea drinks that were 99 cents forever.
Yeah.
And then they just went up finally. But they were 99 cents for the better part of 20 years.
They stayed true to the little man.
We're living the high life.
Yeah. As popular as they are.
As low lifes. And welcome to From Behind the Barcast, the podcast for bartending, service industry, drinking in general. I'm Paxton, Eugene. Sunset Kelly on the ones and twos. Sunset Kelly, more like Kitty Cat Kelly. Now, I just want to open right up. We had Snowpocalypse.
Yes, we did.
And last week we talked about it a little bit, and I was like, 4 inches of snow. These MFers are crazy. Well, the weatherman, now look, I'm not a weatherman.
No.
But neither are weathermen.
Yeah.
Think about that job. All right, you ever watch, I'm sure you have, the Weather Channel?
Oh, yeah.
You know what they'll never put on there?
What?
50% chance of anything.
What was the guy? Jim Cantor? Is that the guy?
Yeah,
that
he's
would
the
go
on,
into
in the
category
streets.
5?
Yeah. Getting his hat blown off, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Windbreaker whipping in the wind.
Yes.
It's always going to be 40%.
Right.
40% chance of snow, 40% chance of rain. Well, the weathermen and women, the meteorologists had it right.
Yeah.
We were a full-on winter wonderland.
Yeah.
Down here on Ivy for sure, which I didn't leave much because I don't trust my Volvo XC90 with... They have new tires. It has new tires.
Yeah.
Newish tires. But going up out of my neighborhood is a pretty good pitch of a slope.
Yeah.
And this wasn't snow, as it were. It started kind of as powdery snow and then immediately turned into ice.
Frozen sleet. I heard peck most of the night.
That was the night that it snowed, sleeted. It was more sleet than anything.
Yeah, Tuesday night. Yeah.
So literally rain, sleet, and snow.
Right.
I know Savannah was pretty tore up. Just in terms of the mayor goes, I don't want to see any of y'all on the streets. It's like 4 inches of snow and everyone loses.
Martial law.
Yeah. Good God, man. And, school shut down. But if you don't know how to drive a tank of a yellow school bus in snow, it's not something you pick up on the fly.
Well,
driving in snow.
No, it's definitely something that it's a learned trait.
Yeah,
definitely.
And you can't learn without snow.
Yeah, and I think even before the snow came and hit, I was talking to a lady at the convenience store, and they were going to shut down the schools anyway just because it was going to be cold.
My pencil won't work.
But it was funny when I was a kid. If there wasn't a foot of snow, at least especially when I lived in Chesapeake, Virginia, if there wasn't a foot of snow on the ground, dude, you were going to school. The trucks were going to come out. They had the infrastructure. Savannah, we're not cut out for this crap. We got to borrow stuff from other places. When it gets this bad.
We got to ship salt in from the Salton Sea.
So, I mean, fortunately for me, I usually drive on Tuesdays, but Ron called me about maybe 3:30, and he goes, "Hey, homie, we're going to shut it down about 7." And I'm like, "All right." But this, I don't even think it was even snowing yet, but it was just, I think, an ice warning.
Yeah.
We're not going to, we got the van and we got the bus. We don't need either one of those wrecked right now for any reason. So he goes, "We're going to shut it down at 7, which I'm like, well, is there any reason for me to come in at 5:30 then? And he goes, "No." So honestly, it didn't affect me because I didn't work Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday anyway.
Anyways, yeah.
So I was able to just ride it out at home, watch a lot of TV because the power never went out, thank God.
Yeah.
Ate warm food and just watched a lot of...
Yeah, the way everyone was freaking out, I'm surprised there wasn't drone strikes or whatever. because everyone was like, Snowpocalypse, what are we going to do? Now, everything was kind of shut down except for obviously Huckapoos.
Yeah. Because
we never shut down. So Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, all 3 nights, I walked my ass up there and got like some pizza. I got a bread bowl with potato soup and broccoli cheddar soup. Nice. Combined.
Nice.
Think about that. It was good.
I am thinking about it.
But it was the only thing that was open, and I'm not driving anything. I mean, I haven't driven in ice or snow.
Yeah. Well,
since a long time.
Well, the South End. There's this one lady. I can't remember her name. Works at the South End Shoes, and she was basically stuck on the island, so couldn't get off the island. So the South End Shoes was open. I don't think they were open until like their normal hours, but I think it was kind of like, you know what, I'm here.
Yeah.
Power's on, that kind of thing. The Rose was doing business. Sandbar was as well. I don't know about Nicky's and all that, but I think anybody that wasn't like a straight up bar was closed.
Yeah.
But if you had an employee
that lived down here,
within walking distance.
The convenience store closest to me, they on the first Snowpocalypse day they were open till like 4:30, something like that. But then the next day they were open till like 8. But it was all people who lived down here already.
Right.
Which is weird because, with all the short-term vacation rentals going on around here, I'm surprised anyone had employees that lived down here that could actually go to work during the Snowpocalypse. Yeah. Wow, no politics today. Do you think the snow brought back a friendly visitor to your doorstep? Did that happen during that time?
No.
So if you remember the lore of the podcast, maybe like a month ago, we talked about this last.
Yeah, it's been about a month.
Where you had a kitty approach Yodo. Mm-hmm. And I surmised that it had been owned by a human at some point, and now it's learned its route, and it's a hustler.
He's a hustler.
And it hits up every.
She's a hustler.
But now you pointed something out to me that I had not thought of, and that's the idea of. So I thought that kitty cats in their territories would force out other kitty cats that tried to enter their territory.
Yeah.
Which may be true in some senses if you have a real hood cat like I had over the last cat I had.
Yeah.
There wasn't an animal coming near the yard.
Yeah.
But you said this cat possibly goes to places that do already have cats that are being taken care of because in its hustling...
It's a theory.
In its hustling mind, it's like, oh, there's a cat being taken care of over there, so there's guaranteed food, treats, water.
Yeah, whether it's outside or not.
Pets.
Because this little dude, I'm calling him Mooch for right now. If it ends up being a girl, I'll call it Moochie. But
so you haven't checked its cloaca yet to see.
It's nice enough for me to like pet. It's not like afraid of hands or anything like that. So it's somewhat domesticated on some level.
I think it's been owned by a human. It's been a pet before.
Yeah, but he came around not during the snowstorm, which I was kind of surprised about. But so I know he's got a place or two. But when I was walking to work yesterday, that's when I heard and he has that wanting meow, like to let people know, like, hey, yo, I'm outside your door.
And I would like to have something.
Yeah,
if
possibly.
You have it. Yeah.
Or whatever, if you have something spare.
But the thing isn't going to die. No. It's not in the desperation of like, I will die if you don't feed me.
It's just a very kind of, hey, I'm here. And
same as last time. We good? Couple few treats, maybe a little bowl of kibble.
So like 2 houses up on my walk to work, I hear the meow. I know it's him. And I'm like, Mooch. But he came out, but he's like 3 houses down from my little place. So there are a couple of domesticated cats that are outdoors, between Baby Girl, my cat, and a couple others and whatever. So, like I said, it's just a hypothesis or no, is that the end results?
Oh, sure. No,
whatever.
That's
I'm theorizing.
Yeah, that's your prediction before, yeah.
But I think, it's somebody like, oh, friendly, mangy cat, needs some food. I've got food. I'm going to get some food.
You kind of can't, especially if the cat's cute at all, mangy at all, not a dickhead.
Yeah. You
kind of can't, and you already have a cat. Yeah. You want to feed the thing. You don't want anything to die unnecessarily.
No, of course not. No,
but it's not gonna. It's a pure hustler. It's like, I like this kibble on Wednesdays.
Well, all right. So, and this is a funny thing.
How bougie is your kibble?
I mean, I'm right now. We're on. I think I got like IAMs. Right
Pretty
now.
bog standard stuff, maybe.
Yeah, the best of Tabby's got anyway.
Yeah. So you're on the
like
you're
$12 bag.
You're in the upper tier of Tabby kibble. Gotcha.
But it's funny when Baby Girl's laying on the bed with me and we're watching TV or even sitting on the couch. It's I don't know, this like this innate thing that animals have, but she knew he was there before he even made a sound. Like her head pops up and she's looking at the back door. And this was this morning, as a matter of fact. And he let out 2 of those guttural, meow, that kind of thing. So I'm like, all right, Mooch,
what's happening?
But then he dipped quick. I'm not sure what got his attention, but he...
Think Baby Girl was sending some kind of ESP cat signal, like, get the hell out of here, you've been here enough already?
No. I mean, without turning
she seems pretty indifferent to him, right?
Show. She, like I said, when I let her out the back door one night, he was back there, and it wasn't like there was hissing, the poofing of the fur, that the tail gets as big as a baseball bat kind of thing. No, it was just kind of like
What's up?
acknowledged. She dashed out the little hole I have for her, and he followed. And
we ain't friends, but we ain't enemies either.
Yeah,
you exist
I'm not
too.
Scared of you.
I'm not scared of you
because physically, she's way more imposing than this thing is. I'm not saying this guy can't scrap probably, but baby girl is a big poofy kitty.
He's not going to turn to Michael Vick, have backyard cat fights. Well, I just love how Mooch comes up and goes, "Hey, I'll take another round." Yeah. Oh, he's got the soft treats, but then the chewy kibble.
Yeah. But I think he's working 3 or 4 places. He's got to be. He's got to be.
Got to be. It's like him go. Yeah.
Yeah, and he rode the snowstorm out somewhere, but it wasn't at my place.
Maybe it's his home where he's got a family that loves him, but he just escapes every week.
No, that butt. That's a mangy butt.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason I don't know if it's a boy or a girl.
You've done a lot of careers, probably. You've worn a lot of hats.
I've done some things.
I've been doing the same thing essentially for the past 15 years with side things, playing band. I'm mostly a bartender, but last night or 2 nights ago, this couple came in and they ordered 2 drinks from me that immediately gave me a sensory memory back to like me bartending about 10 or 12 years ago. And it started making me think about the eras of drinks, the eras of the most popular drinks that I would make during my time there, and how the trend, not the trends changed, but the proclivities of drinkers changed.
Like a movie makes something popular, like a Rusty Nail or an old fashioned.
Right. Yeah.
Something.
Whatever sparks it being in the public zeitgeist. But this woman ordered. She goes, "I want a drink, and I want it to be Crown Peach and Cranberry." And I was like, "Wait, I was like, that's just basically a Royal Flush as a drink." She goes, "Yeah, I would order it that way, but anytime I try and order it that way, no one knows what I'm talking about." Now, we call it a Royal Flush here around the South, I guess. I mean, you could go 2 states up and they call it a grasshopping wigwam or something. You don't know. Everyone's got, "Oh, you mean a Clearwater cocksucker," whatever. They have their...
No, I mean a Royal Flush. It's not a Clearwater cocksucker.
And then the dude ordered a Surfer on Acid, which is a very strange drink. It's pineapple juice, peach, and Jaeger. That's how I make it, and that's how he wanted it too.
Peach being like what, peach schnapps?
Peach schnapps,
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, like I said, it sent me back to this memory when my first 3 years at Huckapoo's, or just in the bar business at all, and I think this is pretty ubiquitous amongst Tybee and Savannah generally, was I shook up probably 200 Vegas bombs every shift that I worked.
Okay.
Which is essentially a Royal Flush with Red Bull. That's what we call it. You might call it somewhere else. And one of our guys last night, he goes, "Where's he from?" He asked somebody, he goes, "Where's he from? West Virginia or Normal Virginia?" So in Normal Virginia, you might call it something else.
Yeah.
But here it's a Vegas bomb. And I literally remember I would make 20 of them at the time sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't know who created it, where it came from, but I was shaking a million of those. This next 2 years, I shook up more just straight Patron. When Patron was like, maybe it was like, I don't know, maybe rappers made it popular. Because every rapper sang, rapped about, Patron in my home, whatever.
Yeah.
Then someone showed me a drink called the green tea.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a shot, and it's Jameson peach and sour mix. I made it for a few people, and then boom, for the next 2 years, that's all I shook up. That's the only shot anyone would order.
It's probably the only time I would imbibe Jameson.
Right. It's the summertime way to drink Jameson instead of drinking it straight.
Is there a white tea?
And subsequently, there's a white tea.
Okay.
Which is just you substitute the Jameson for vodka, Tito's preferably.
Of course.
Then there was a 2-year era where it was all Irish breakfast and pancakes and waffle shots, which this is weird, but it was really great. You do butterscotch liqueur and Jameson together.
Okay.
And you do it with a straight, and then you do it with a chaser of OJ. And when you do it back to back, it literally tastes like breakfast, like pancakes and bacon.
Interesting.
So then the other one was Captain Morgan.
Oh, boy.
Oh, I saw Kelly's ears perk up. Captain Morgan butterscotch, followed by a shot of OJ, which tasted like waffles with syrup for some reason. Because Captain has that vanilla-esque.
Oh, absolutely.
So imagine that with butterscotch, chasing it with OJ.
When I would take a break from Captain, which was rare at one time in my life and all that, but and I'd heard this numerous times from other people who, what are you drinking? Captain and Coke. And if it wasn't something you were used to drinking, a lot of people would say this tastes a lot like vanilla. Now, when I was pounding it, I didn't really get those hints, those undertones.
And the bouquet was not speaking to you.
At all. But when I would take a break occasionally, or for whatever reason somebody would have one with me who doesn't traditionally drink a spiced rum, they're like, man, there's a lot of vanilla taste to this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can see how that would work. Honestly, it's somewhere along the line I must have had some variation of that. Because I've drank Captain just about every way except mainlining it.
Yeah, right.
At some point.
Well, the first time I had Captain and Coke, I thought it was a vanilla Coke. That's how strong the vanilla notes were.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
But, if you're drinking it for utility, you're like, what? I'm drunk.
Oh, dude. Yeah. And I'm not going back to it. I mean, we're broke up. We had our time together, decades. But I'm certain if I drink one now, regardless of how it was made, whether it was a measured pour or a Tybee pour and all that, I would probably be like, I can't believe
how sweet or vanilla-y
and I did this to myself for 38 years.
Would it be a Ratatouille moment? You're automatically taken back to that Chili's in Augusta at happy hour.
Yeah. I mean, and I have no desire to go back to it. I'm kind of at this point. It's more of I'm proud to say that it's been a long time since I drank it because it was doing some physical things.
Because you were Captain and Coke, right?
Yeah.
So. Not only
and some other things, but that was my maintenance.
But not only the Captain, but ingesting that much full fat Coca-Cola is kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is.
JT drank 20 Jack and Cokes a night. R.I.P. My buddy that I work at his bar now.
Yeah.
And I was like, but he never got. I don't know. You never got fat either. But it just seems like some people handle sugar better.
Well, I mean, there's fat, then there's skinny fat. I mean, don't let my little arms and my skinny legs belie.
I got it all in the middle, baby.
What's going on right here? That's where it all goes. Trust me. Yeah, I'm not looking like a sumo wrestler if I go hard on the Captain and Coke.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, but it picks up right here. The sugar does what it's supposed to do. It's a lot of calories, I think.
Well, and Captain and Coke is called the same thing whether you're in Normal Virginia or West Virginia or not.
Yeah.
Like, you say Captain and Coke.
Yeah, but there's also Admiral Nelson.
Yeah.
Some places, depending on, I guess, your affiliation.
Sailor Jerry, that's like the 100 proof.
Yeah.
Which is also good.
Yeah, but I know the difference.
Yeah.
Or the time I did, especially. Putting Pepsi.
Pepsi.
That's splitting hairs. It doesn't really matter as long as it gets the job done.
I mean, it kind of does. Pepsi tastes weird in cocktails.
When I know it's a Sailor Jerry and Pepsi.
You're right.
I'm not disparaging any bar that does that, but they have we have Coke instead of Pepsi. So you can't get a Captain and Coke everywhere.
Yeah.
It's not
what bar have you been to that has Pepsi?
Actually, it's the Esso Club down in Clemson, Little Clemson, South Carolina.
Really?
Yeah. They didn't
I said Pepsi wrong. I meant Pepsi. That's how we say it down here.
I mean, I don't mind it. I mean, RC Cola, hell, the Sam's Club one. I mean, it doesn't, as a mixer, it's all fine to me. But I know the difference. If there was a blind, like back in the 80s, I had the blind taste, would you know the difference between Pepsi and Coke? I absolutely would.
100%.
Absolutely. I think Coke just has a little bit more of a bite to it.
I would say we will put it to the test, but I don't want you to. You can't drink Captain again.
I mean, no, I could, but
no, I know, but it
wouldn't wreck the train.
Why do it? Yeah. I had a guy. Now we sell Captain Morgan, and I don't try and substitute anything for it because Captain is. I mean, even with Sailor Jerry, but we don't carry Sailor Jerry.
Yeah.
But Captain is such a specific taste that if you tried to sub anything out for it for someone who drinks Captain, they'd be like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
We were out of Stoli one time, and this guy was like, a guy that I knew, buddy of mine's dad, he drinks Stoli and soda. That's what he drank.
Yeah.
Literally, probably nothing else. I never saw him order anything. I was kind of far away from him where he ordered, and we were busy, so instead of walking all the way back to him, I was like, I'll just pour him Tito's.
Yeah.
Now, vodka, I think the whole point of vodka is for them to filter the shit out of it forever, where it ends up tasting like nothing.
Yeah.
All right, and there's no way he could have seen me do this because I couldn't even get his attention from where I was,
right,
as far away from him as I was. So I made him a Tito's and soda with a lime, and I took it to him. He barely got the first sip, and he goes, "This isn't Stoli."
Yeah.
I was like, "How do you?" And he wasn't like a. I guess if you're like the worst alcoholic in the world, you probably wouldn't notice because you drink so much. So he wasn't, he drank like 2 or 3 drinks a night when he was in there. But he knew immediately between 2 fucking vodkas. Now, if it was Wave or $3 a shot vodka versus Stoli, then yeah, maybe you.
But I mean, when I was using a substitute for vodka, and I was on the Wave train occasionally and all that, and I might be naive in thinking or feeling this way and all that, but it seems like vodka is probably like the easiestly interchangeable one. Now, maybe if you're like, I'm a Stoli guy, whatever, and your buds are just calibrated a certain way.
I guess, but what are the tasting notes of Stoli versus Tito's?
But I wouldn't know. You know, if it was a screwdriver, you could put Mr. Boston in there, and I would not know the difference.
Sure. Well, he was drinking it with soda, so there were, not a lot masking it. So he was but I just thought, besides Grey Goose, which is like, why would the French make vodka? Well, I don't want your vodka, you French fucks.
I heard that was just regular ass vodka to make it look premium.
So outside of that, I'm like, all the top end stuff is pretty interchangeable to me. Like Stoli, Tito's, whatever.
Yeah. I'm not complaining about the vodka going into whatever vodka drink.
Belvedere. Yeah. Kind of a waste of money, but whatever.
Yeah. No, Wave was great because it was like a handle for $11.
Yeah.
Or a fifth of Grey Goose for $48. Yeah. It's not a hard choice,
This lady was asking me the other day, she was kind of, I don't know, she was acting kind of stank, whatever, but I wasn't treating her stankly. I had just seen this video of this white lady. The camera comes up on her face, and she goes, look at me mango trees. So she's a Russian woman, born in Jamaica, or moved to Jamaica, learned to speak English through her Jamaican husband. So she had a mango tree out there, and she was like, look at the mangoes. They're growing real great this year, right? Yeah. So that video's on my mind. This lady asked me, she goes, what kind of rums do you have? I was like, well, we have Captain. And we have this. We have mango. She goes, excuse me. I said, mango. Mango rum. She goes, I'm sorry. I go, mango. She goes, oh, mango. Thanks. I was like, oh, let's not have fun here.
She wasn't playing that game, huh?
Yeah. And then she asked me something else, and I go, no, thank you. I'm sweet enough.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, this was her response.
I love that joke. I love that. Yeah, look,
not everyone wants to have fun. Neither do I.
Well, somewhere out there, somebody thinks Eddie Murphy's not funny. And it has nothing to do with racism or misogyny or anything like that.
Some idiot.
I just don't think he's funny. I don't get it. Bill Burr, he's not funny. It has nothing to do with his offensiveness. Or, sometimes it's just like, I don't get it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I wasn't necessarily being funny, but she was just being stank.
Yeah.
But whatever.
I mean, it's not like when people get in the breezy and the mic's hot and I'm ready to entertain,
Take a seat, guys. You're about to be in for the ride of your life.
7 minutes you're going to have all week now. But,
anyways, the snow, how about it? Have you been cold?
But you try to say some things that, maybe sometimes it's just to see if they even know the joke from a movie or whatever.
No one could have known the mango reference. So I don't blame her for that.
I think of mango. I think of the skit from Saturday Night Live back in the day. Don't touch the mango. He was the male dancer.
Yeah.
Chris Kattan.
Yeah, Chris. Yeah.
But no, dude, it's not like I think I'm the funniest guy in the car by any stretch. But sometimes you put something out there and crickets.
Well, there is a reference that I hope most people get, especially within 10 to 15 years of our age range. I would hope this. So, and here's the reference. I'm at work the other night, and a young lady that I work with called Sunset Kelly to order a pack of cigarettes.
Yes.
And I guess she was getting impatient, so she went around Kelly and called Ron, the owner of Breezy, to check on a certain Sunset Kelly. And Kelly walks in, hands her the cigarettes, and he goes, so you going over my head now? And she goes, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean. And he goes, does Sunset Kelly have to choke a bitch? I peed my pants. I farted. I pooped a little bit. I collapsed.
Now, she may have waited 2 hours. That's fair. But cigarettes, aren't a priority necessarily. I mean, I'll let you know. I got them. They're on the way. And sometimes I'll even ask, are you out? I mean, how big of a rush are we in here and all that? But she called Ron. I don't think it was a complaint necessarily, but it just felt like
she was
the
like, hey, just checking up.
Yeah, but it was felt like the perfect time to walk in there. Like,
Does Sunset Kelly
have to choke a bit?
Oh shit! It's Sunset Kelly. Boom! Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, we'll be passing by your house. Kelly, you missed a turn. And go, yeah, no, don't worry about it, baby.
No, don't worry about it, baby.
I need to get some money, and then we pull.
So I've got some plans to cut. I got to figure out how to get your face over Donnell Rawlings' face, but I got a way to cut it together. Because after you said it, I went home and watched that whole sketch twice that night. It's
so great.
It's so good, man.
It just holds up so
And if you're not familiar with this reference, I'm not telling you.
Yeah.
This is our club now.
Do yourself a favor, check it.
We're in the Wayne Brady club. That's it. And I'll make some clips of it, but this is our club.
Yeah, and the whole backstory behind that whole thing was because they had said something about Wayne Brady on another skit prior to him being on the show, like something about
he said white people like Wayne Brady because he makes Bryant Gumbel look like Malcolm X.
Yeah.
That was the joke.
I guess on some level he took some sort of offense to it.
He did. He didn't like it. He goes, "Why y'all tripping on me?"
Yeah, and he
saw the sketch while he was getting a haircut in a black barber shop.
Yeah,
not a good look.
So I like and obviously it turned into the other thing, the ride along,
which is probably the greatest sketch. Besides Tyrone Biggums,
or the Prince one,
Clayton Bixby,
or the Prince retelling.
Oh yeah,
the Charlie Murphy stuff, that kind of stuff. But I thought, what a way to kind of rebrand himself in a certain way, to do
break yourself, fool.
Yeah, exactly. And the guy's arm gets stuck on the fence. And
he's got blood all over him.
Yeah.
Well, because mild mannered Sunset Kelly, people don't see his fur get up a lot. People don't see his ears twerk. But when you got to lay into somebody, like you were telling me the other night, you had another person in the car with you when someone was giving you trouble, and after you dropped them off, the dude was like, whoa, man.
Yeah.
You scary when you get mad. It's like, yeah, I'm Wayne Brady.
Well, I am not a mean person by nature and all that, but sometimes if you're going to use it in your deck of cards and all that, you want it to mean something. Because I see people are angry all the time. So
and it means nothing.
It means nothing. Because the next day it's going to be like, well, you were mad as hell at me last night. Was I? I don't even remember that. So it's not because I'm trying to humiliate anybody.
No?
It's usually more of just say, hey, get it together.
Yeah.
Snap to.
Yeah.
Whether it's traditionally the breezy atmosphere. Because sometimes that kind of effect, reminds them that, oh, by the way, you're in a cab. You don't remember getting in the cab.
Yeah, and I'm running a business. I'd like you to get you out of here and get paid for it and go pick up the next ride. Let's make this happen.
Let's move along.
Lest Sunset Kelly has to choke a bitch.
Now, I've got a couple of ex-wives who'd be more than happy to tell you that I'm an asshole. But that being
asshole
said,
Kelly.
I've tried, to use that ace in the hole sparingly.
But you busting it out, I was like, wow. What perfect comedic timing. And when I say timing, like over 5 years of you being you, the first time you ever broke that out, and you used it on a person who understood.
Yeah, she got it.
She understood.
Yeah.
And we all laughed. Everyone liked that.
Everybody was in on it, and that's the importance of anything truly funny. As my mom always taught me, it's like, it's not funny when you're the butt of the joke unless you are part of the joke, Then you're just making fun of somebody.
Yeah. As long as you're included in.
Would I choke her out? No. But at that moment, because of the way she went around me,
depending on the situation, like sometimes that's appropriate.
Yeah. And I know she didn't.
We get wild in the bed.
Yeah. I was running the phone that night. Ron was actually trying to run back up for me because we didn't really know how the night was going to go. So I was running dispatch and all that. But for whatever reason, she decided to call Ryan at that point. That's when I started thinking, this might be a perfect time to pull this out of the old hip pocket. And it landed perfectly. I loved it.
Yeah, a lot of times, people surprise you with appearance versus demeanor sort of thing, Because yesterday, we're changing over tabs, and Taylor was working daytime. And he was like, all right, Kim over there. Yeah, okay, this is what she had. And she goes, all right, that's Doug. I've never seen this guy before. I don't know if his name's Doug, whatever. Big guy, 55, 60. Big white beard, hat like mine, probably like 300 pounds. Just man.
Okay.
And he just gives me a nod and waves like, yeah, I'll holler at you when I get ready.
Yeah.
Few minutes pass. I was like, Doug, you ready for a drink? And he goes, I'll take a Jameson and Coke. I was like, is he doing a bit right now?
High-pitched voice.
I'll take a Jameson and Coke.
Yeah.
I was like, do you need to cough? Do you need to... You need to clear your throat or anything.
Yeah.
It's just weird seeing that voice coming out of that man.
Or you get some Motown band from back in the 50s or 60s, and the skinniest brother in the band.
He's the bass partner.
Got that. But the biggest brother.
Yeah.
Hey. It belies what's going on down there or up top. I love that. I do love that. Yeah.
Well, you know what it took? A man dying for people to realize that he was white. Bobby Caldwell. What? I guess you're wondering where I've been.
Yeah.
I searched to find the love. You did not know he was white even after he died?
I guess I didn't read the bit.
I didn't know. I mean, I didn't know until he died.
Yeah.
Because on the front of most of his records, he was just a silhouette. I mean, you hear Bobby Caldwell.
No, I know the dude.
Yeah, I know. That's a black voice.
Yeah. All right. So maybe that obviously was a premeditated production thing.
100%.
Yeah. Let's let him keep thinking that.
I bet you 70% of anyone who ever heard that song thought, unless they really, really knew.
Yeah.
And he's not like a big white guy either. He's like kind of diminutive.
I mean, I don't feel fooled by it. I just assume.
It's pretty cool.
And I guess, what they say about assuming.
Yeah.
And all that. But I don't feel like I've been cheated. But yeah. I would have lost that bet.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Well, that now that you know that, you can't unknow it.
Yeah.
There's certain things that you can't, if you see it, you can't unsee it. Mm-hmm. Like the Hollywood sign.
Yeah.
Between the last O and the D is skewed so dramatically.
Yeah, it's far back.
It's bad.
Yeah.
So once you notice that, you can't not notice it.
Yeah, well, the hillside that it's on, I think probably is
understood. But
design.
In your mind's eye, you think of the Hollywood sign as being perfectly spaced.
Symmetrical.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Put some footers in there.
Right. So along those lines, there's some things you can't unrealize or recognize either.
Okay.
And I'm gonna take this as a positive thing.
Oh boy.
Because I was watching some clips of The Office the other day, which we all love The Office. You're not an Office fan, but you've watched it. Do you like Parks and Rec?
No, I like Parks and Rec and all that. Yeah,
all right, same vibe.
Just stay on your thing. I'm not gonna
come on, man. Let's not get into that. Whoa. No. Back to Sunset. I don't want you choking me over The Office.
No.
You understand the concept, though. So you've worked in an office before or in a professional environment where you show up on time, and if you don't, there's problems.
Cubicle.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah. So you know the system. All right. Yeah. I think it's positive for me because once I notice this, I kind of don't have the urge to watch those shows anymore because I can't unsee this. I can't unnotice this thing.
Okay.
Most of the premises are set up. Let's take one example from The Office. Dwight Schrute, probably the most, astute, willing employee at the office. He's a kiss ass. He's going to show up on time, all that shit.
Yep.
Whenever he shows up and Jim has already taken his desk and moved it into the bathroom.
Right.
Dwight walks in. Everyone looks like they've been at work for like 30 minutes. Number two, Dwight would never be late.
Right.
So all of a sudden, this guy walks in and the whole rest of the office is like, hey man, you're 30 minutes late. They're not giving him shit. Uh-huh. Think of every premise. It always starts, everyone's already at work, hard at work. And then someone shows up.
Right.
And the inciting incident happens. It's like, is no one going to say that this guy's fucking late? Yeah. Is no one annoyed?
All right. So I know that Jim would always mess with him, whether it was putting quarters in his phone or dressing like him or talking like him and all that. Was it a gag where everybody agreed to show up early?
No,
it wasn't that clever.
They've done time gags like that where someone fell asleep and they moved all the clocks around.
All right.
But think about it. Every time someone walks into the office in the morning, whether it be Parks and Rec,
right,
any of it, everyone's already there hard at work. And no one's giving these people shit for being late. And I'm like, I can't even watch this show anymore.
The sad thing, God, here we go. The sad thing about The Office for me is, and I never watched the European version of it or the UK version of it and all that, because Gervais was the Michael Scott of the whatever and all that.
His name's David Brent.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, God, I don't want to do this, but
then don't.
I'm just saying, as an ensemble, I enjoyed the show, and I understand that Michael Scott's role was to be the most annoying, whatever, and all
but it
that.
worked too good on you?
It worked too good on me. Like, when he left the show, and then they had the variety, whether it was Idris Elba or...
Yeah, the worst time of the show, yeah.
I disagree because I thought that raised the love of everything. I just loved James Spader's... when
Robert California.
Yes, yes, and dude, I know. I'm not going to do this. And if anybody even approaches me at a bar or tries this in the cab,
Sunset Office hating Kelly just walked in the door.
I'll fine. I'll wear that shirt.
He's just going to go around choking you.
I don't hate it because of that, but dude, it's a half an hour show. And you hear the intro song, and you hear the outro song. And it's the same song, and you hear it in the span of 15 fucking minutes, dude. It is like Guantanamo Bay fucking torture. I'm telling you.
Hot take, buddy.
I
get it though.
It's just, I guess it's like one of those things. Like, it's not that I don't get it.
Yeah.
I just don't care.
Okay, I don't like Eric Clapton either.
Okay.
A lot of people do like him for some fucking reason. I don't know why. I don't know what's wrong with them. Not only for his shitty personal life, but if a man cites himself as the benchmark of good guitar playing, like when Eric Clapton said, "Oh, John Mayer, he's the Eric Clapton of this generation." You're naming yourself as that's douchery, right? Yeah. Whatever. So, and his music's fine. I think Ginger Baker was a douchebag, the drummer for Cream. He said John Bonham couldn't swing a sack of shit, and that's wrong.
Yeah.
John Bonham being the drummer for Led Zeppelin, whatever. You guys know that. Well, I got offered to do a tribute to Eric Clapton as a drummer, and I said yes.
Good.
Because I get to play with a lot of my other bandmates that I've played with before, and it's at the Tybee Post Theater. I'm going to find out the date for it at some point.
Yeah, please.
I think it might be April 4th on a Friday. We'll see, though. So if you're around here and want to go see the show, they'll be doing an acoustic set for the first half, and then I will be the sole electric rock drummer for the second set, which is probably going to be like 10 to 12 songs. Good. From the Cream days, from the Eric Clapton days, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it should be a good time. Maybe I probably won't get a spray tan before it.
Okay.
These are my funky ass segues I'm trying to do right now. Just,
all right, I'm going off the ride.
Oh yeah, come on, man.
All right.
So we had a private party on Saturday night because I worked the inside bar for the first time in probably 2 years, man. Yeah. At nighttime at least, and my muscle memory's gone. I'm opening the wrong sliders to get certain beers, so it took me about an hour and a half to get fully.
I thought you just weren't opening the outside bar because it was cold, and I think I even said table 12 needs some napkins. I didn't know you were actually bartending that night.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, because I'd seen you in there in a minute.
Well, I knew it was going to be. I mean, I would have opened outside anyways because I'm poor and I need money. But they were like, "Hey, man, it was someone's birthday or some shit," and they were like, "Hey, come work. Do you want to work inside tonight?" I was like, "Yes, let's do it." Yeah. So we had a birthday party and a private party or whatever, or it was 2 birthday parties, something like that. But one of the birthday parties is a girl I know named Michelle. And she has like a spray tan business. So she was bringing employees out or whatever. They had a party at Pooh's.
Yeah.
And they're all either current or ex-service industry or adjacent to it. They've dated people in the industry. So for a group of 50 people, it was the most painless thing I've ever dealt with, especially with that many people. And I think it's because, they have their roots in the service industry in some sort of way.
Okay.
And so it went really well. It was like super fun. So what they were doing the following day was, so just like barbershops, if they have apprentice barbers and stylists and whatever, they give you free haircuts so that these people can learn on real bodies, real heads.
Yeah, yeah.
So essentially they were doing the same thing with spray tanning the next day. So they were making appointments for people. Or maybe not even appointments. You just show up and, they'll have a person who's in the nascent stages of their career of spray tanning, just try it out. So a group of Huckapoo's people went to the thing and they show up.
I saw a few of the end results.
And so the thing that like a bad fuck up wasn't noticeable to me, and no one was like Trump orange.
Yeah.
So Roman salute to that.
Right.
But so I'm sitting there and I'm talking to these people and I'm looking down the row and they're all sitting in a gradient. Okay. And I go, did you the person on the end, I go, did you get a spray tan? They go, yeah. And then I start looking from right to left, and the shades are getting darker and darker. I was like, I just watched the spray machine run out of bronzer in human form right in front of me. Because the last girl, a friend of mine, I don't know if there's any color on her. But then 5 people over, one of our friends looked like they dipped their feet in black tar heroin.
Jesus. Have you ever been to a tanning bed? I mean, wait, you would explode in the sun, frankly, traditionally, right?
Kinda. I mean, I'd take the sun okay.
Yeah, I mean, all right, so I've never
gone to get sprayed or to an actual bed where you, all right, well, the coffin.
I've never had a spray tan, but I've gone to a tanning bed before a trip where I knew I was going to a southern locale. Uh-huh. And I didn't want day one, because say we went to Dominican, whatever. And I don't know if I had any color back then or not, but
you don't want to get tore up day one from the sun.
Because
you want a base layer down.
Yeah, next thing you know, you're looking for every piece of shade you can find.
And you don't want to leave your room, you're burnt the next day. Yeah, and that's $1,000 down the drain.
So I've definitely done maybe 2 8-minute sessions at Palm Beach.
Okay.
Just to get a little base coat.
Is 8 minutes in a tanning bed 30 minutes or an hour in the sun
maybe
equivalent?
More. Maybe
really?
More if you're going in there opaque white,
yeah,
depending on what you can tolerate. But just 8-10 minutes. But if you go in there with the idea I need a half an hour, dude, you're a turkey when you come out. So 8 minutes in there, you don't see it necessarily at first, and then you get home that night.
Yeah,
okay. And then you can kind of look at your butt crack if you go in there naked. You can get a little space in there and all that. You go back the next day for the set. So I'm not opposed to getting a base layer.
Yeah,
but
that's a light tan, not a spray tan.
And it's premeditated with the idea I'm going to be in the sun on the beach for the next 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
I don't want to get my ass handed to me because we're out there drinking, doing other things that we like to do. Yeah, and you're not feeling it. It's like going to the beach down here. You're not feeling it for the first 4 or 5 hours.
Oh, buddy. Especially the worst times I've ever gotten burnt is I start having fun. I'm kicking a soccer ball. I'm swimming. I'm drinking. And then you start when you start to bend your arms, you start to feel it crack a little bit after 4 or 5 hours. Yeah. And then, tightness. Mm-hmm. And then you get home that night. You're getting ready to go out possibly for the night. And then you're like, oh, God. You get out of the shower. It's like, oh, boy. Oh, this is happening.
Yeah, there's not a shirt soft enough or a dress, whatever you're wearing. Not wearing a dress. But I just mean there's nothing soft enough. It just feels like you're just, there's nothing worse. And I see it all the time in the breed.
In the year of our Lord, 1999, I had a birthday. I have one every year. But the year of our Lord, I was turning 18 years old. The year of our Lord, 1989, April 14th. And I stayed up all night partying with my friends. So my best friends and my bosses were beachwear shop owners down in St. Simon's. That's where I lived at the time. So think of the wave shops out here.
Yeah.
Basically, it's all people from Israel, from 2 or 3 extended families, and they sort of have the same MO. They open a couple of beachwear businesses with boogie boards and shit in them, and then once they start owning some property, then they start buying more shops with more different styles of stuff in there, a more specialized thing like trinkets. Oh, it's only trinkets in the shop, or it's only T-shirts in the shop, or it's only whatever they do. So my guys down there, Yair Wanunu, he was my best friend and boss, and we were about 2 or 3 years apart. But they had been established down there for 5 or 10 years, so they were already pretty rich. Mm-hmm. And they didn't pay us shit, but we got to stay at their house all the time. They paid for all of our parties. Cool. I didn't need my own money to party. So we stayed at his house all night, went to the beach the next day after staying up all night. Now, my buddy Yair, he's Israel, he's from Israel. He is already olive complected. He's got a natural base layer.
Yeah.
So we go out to the beach, we're drinking, partying, having fun. And he goes, put some of this on. I thought it was sunscreen.
Sunblock of some sort.
But he's just coating himself in this shit. He is waxing up what
was it, just baby oil?
No, it was tan enhancer.
Oh, okay, yeah. Which is yeah.
Well, that's bad for me.
Yeah, you don't need a tan enhancer. You need
it said 50 on there. It said 50. So I thought that meant SPF 50. Right. No, it meant 50 times the straight, whatever it was. So literally, almost I'm over there every hour, it's time for a new Axe body spray.
Yeah.
Covering myself in it. 6 o'clock that evening rolls around. We've been on the beach all day. We go out to dinner at the Outback Steakhouse.
Nice.
And I'm still drunk, still fine, eat a little bit. They take me back to Yair's house. And I was so drunk, and I didn't do like heavy drugs back then or anything. So staying up all night was kind of a thing. I mean, I was 18, so it was possible. But all that drinking and food and sun, staying up all night, I was tired.
Yeah.
So I fell asleep in his bed until like 3 a.m. And then when I woke up, literally could not move. Like the lobster color that like everyone jokes about or that you see on TV. Luckily, Yair's girlfriend was a sweetheart. Like every hour on the hour, she would come in with refrigerated green aloe. Oh, brother. And just cover me.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally couldn't move.
That was part of my condiment section in my fridge for a long time. And
the green goop.
And dude, I was under this naive, incredibly naive idea that, all I need is a good burn. Then I got my base layer. I'm gonna be good for the rest of the summer. I don't need to put anything on.
It's science.
Yeah, it's science. Let me get a melanoma.
I'm so smart.
Yeah. Let me burn the shit out of myself day one of summer. Let that peel and go, and then I'll darken up. And at one time, I don't go out in the sun, on purpose as much. I'm a little wiser now. I realize too much sun's not a good thing. But I could get dark.
Yeah.
And even Martin and I, there was one summer, probably about 5-6 years ago. And I remember it was when
every moment you could be on the beach, you were on the beach.
Well, it was at Brett Harrison's birthday party when they had the funster, the dumpster with all the water in it and the big water slide.
I remember that.
And now Martin's Puerto Rican and all that.
He's got a base layer already.
Yeah,
natural.
And I can't get darker than him. But for about that one summer, that's probably the last summer in the sun for me, where I was like, I'm going to try and see how dark I can go. But I was never going to beat Martin, so I could take the sun pretty well. But the first time and the worst time I ever got burnt, this was back when I was going to SCAD back in the early 90s. And they had this thing out at Redgate Farms. Panic was playing, blah, 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 and all that. But we're out there. There's no shade. None.
Yeah, I've been out there. There's not a tree in sight.
Not where, at least where the
not
stage
where you
was.
play.
Yeah, and all that. We didn't know, man. Shirts off, drinking beer and all that.
Cooked.
We get home, and we're starting to do the press the finger. It's white. Then it goes out to red and white. But my buddy worked for a landscaping company. He had to go back to Augusta the following day. And he calls me that night, and he goes, dude, I slid on the fucking blower jetpack, the shoulder pads.
Yeah.
This thing's weigh, 30, 40 pounds. Yeah. He goes, dude, I felt it sliding, and it was just peeling the skin off my shoulders underneath my shirt.
I figured a landscaper would know better, though.
Dude,
he wasn't Mexican or anything?
No. It wasn't like that. It was just, it wasn't, dude, we got fucked up, and it was our first day in the sun. It was just one of those things, And we decided it'd be a good idea to take our shirts off.
Well, yeah.
You're in the sun. When he's landscaping, traditionally, he's got a long sleeve shirt trying to keep the sun off.
I didn't think about that,
Yeah, but it wasn't like he was out there going, do you have any sunscreen? No, we weren't even thinking about that. We were thinking about, we got 2 cases of Old Milwaukee's Best. Will that be enough? Of course, this is a SCAD day, so we're trying to pull together pennies and dimes.
Oh, of course.
Hit the Walmart on the way back and saw a few people from the bands there and blah, blah, blah. But long story short, that is easily the burntest I've ever been. I've never, peeled brown chunks. So, yeah. but I could take a tan, but I still got freckles from that day on my shoulder.
Yeah, right.
But, I was, because you're of Nordic descent of sorts and all that. I was just wondering, if the sun rays hit you, would you just explode?
So I'm not. Yeah, I don't crisp up and bacon immediately.
Yeah.
And I used to have the same naivete. I was like, I get burnt once, and then I've got the
base coat.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
The best. I can tan decently as long as I do 2-hour stretches in the sun over 2 weeks each day, sort of thing.
Yeah.
If I take it too long one day, and I'm terrible at putting sunscreen on.
Yeah.
Even with help.
Yeah.
That it's I can see handprints on me.
Yeah.
It's dumb.
Yeah.
And
well, at this point in my life, I don't mind getting a little color still. I think everybody looks a little healthier with a little
they
something.
Do.
But I'm also aware that if I get too much and I kind of look at my forearms, it looks like a pepperoni pizza. It's not that gross, but you're seeing white spots. That can't be a good thing.
Probably not. No.
And stuff like that, you kind of think it's just this little dinky thing, but a little dinky thing like that can take you down.
Yeah, for sure.
It could take you down.
Yeah, buddy.
6 feet underground.
Yeah,
down,
buddy. Yeah.
It starts with something itchy, and then that little thing.
That's it.
It's like,
conk.
Why can't it be lung cancer?
Yeah.
Something. Liver.
I'm starting to have lymphoma.
An itchy mole.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah. Meanwhile, Keith Richards is boofing heroin at 90, and he'll live forever.
It's working for him.
Well, hopefully this will live forever. Thank you guys for listening to the podcast again this week. Sunset Kelly and you're going to Augusta, and I get to go cat sit again, which is one of my favorite things to do. And I'm trying to think of the new show that I want to watch on your giant television. I can't think of it right now.
You'll figure it out.
But yeah, thank you guys for listening this week. You can follow us on Instagram, and if you are watching this on YouTube, go ahead and look right down there and hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out. And if you want to support the show, we are patreon.com/FromBehindTheBarcast. And we'll see you next week.